Morning. This session we are going to uh, talk about Bohm-Jacopini theorem. Bohm-Jacopini theorem. This Bohm-Jacopini, he is the researcher and the first person to give the idea of structured programming language. So earlier, at the time of invention of Turing machine model, no one knows that concept of structured programming. He is the first scientist proposed the concept of structured programming. Earlier, people they have followed non-structured programming. So we all know that the non-structured programming, what they have implemented for Turing machine, it don't have any flow of control and it is not clearly organized. So and when you these type of programs, it's very hard to follow and very hard to understand also, and it lacks clear and modular logicals. So very difficult to understand because there is no organization. So to prevent this and to avoid this, Bohm Jacopini, he is the first researcher. He proposed the structured programming and which has three control structure. One is sequence, second one is selection, third one is repetition. So these three basic structures they have followed for building the structured programming language, and this structured programming language are nowadays we are used for all high level programming languages. So three key techniques what they have followed for structured programming languages. First one is sequence. Sequence means it has a sequence of instruction to be executed in order. For example, when you take this program, see the lines of code in the program. We have four lines of code. Int x equal to 10, int y equal to 20, int sum equal to x plus y, and we have one printout line, right? So this any programming language, if it is recognized as a programming language, then it has to follow these three things. That is sequence. The first one is sequence. Sequence means first after executing the first instruction, the control moves to the second instruction. After executing the second instruction, the control moves to the third, it reads the third instruction. So it maintains that order. Okay, so after reading the x value, the control move on to second line and it reads the y value. It maintains that order. So if you are proposing any language, then it must follow this sequence. That is the first technique he proposed. And the second technique that we followed for structured programming is selection technique. It's a conditional statement. So from the name itself, we can understand that it's a conditional based technique. So it execute based on the conditions. So we have some block of code. This block of code is executed based on a condition. For example, we can take if-else statement or switch case statement. If we take if-else statement, so if condition following that we have statement, else we don't have condition for else, we know that. So else and following that we have some statements. So if the condition is true for the if statement, it will execute the statements under it. Else it will execute the other thing, right? So if you are proposing any language, then it should follow the second technique, selection technique. The third technique is the repetition technique, what we call as loop technique, right? This repetition technique means it's also a block of code that is executed repeatedly, either for a fixed number of times or for a condition. So we all know that this for, while and do while loops, how it works. So if you want to execute multiple times the same statement or multiple times, if you want to execute, if you want to read the records of a student and execute and to process the marks of each and every student, means we will go for this for loop, while loop, and do while, right? So these type of statements will coming under repetition. So the new language, any language, modern language, it should follow a structured programming, means it has to maintain the three techniques. So first technique is selection technique, and it should follow the sequence technique. It should follow the selection technique, and it should follow the repetition technique. And finally, we can conclude our topic that structured programming makes our work easier, makes us to understand the programming flow, and what we use right now, modern languages, what we are using right now, all are following the structured programming concepts. Thank you.